Are the Arizona Coyotes closing in on a Clayton Keller trade? Maybe. Watch to the end.
You're Locked On Coyotes, your daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Locked On Coyotes, your number one daily podcast on the Arizona Coyotes. I am your host, Robyn Leonio, alongside Matthew Jacobson. We want to thank everyone for making this show your first listen every day. We're free and available everywhere you get your podcasts, including now on the Sirius XM radio app. We've got a great show on today's episode. Matt, we're discussing a little trade rumor that's made its way down the grapevine that I think it's worth discussing.
Yeah, honestly, this is a known insider. This is a really solid source. And you know what? And it kind of sucks the idea, trading Clayton Keller. But let's talk about this. Let's just talk about this because I absolutely love this. So I'm just going to refer to him as Gerald. I think that's a solid name for him. So, quote, the Maple Leafs and Arizona Coyotes explored a deal involving Nylander and Keller. Nylander's unwilling to extend in Arizona as of right now. So that's essentially why the deal wasn't finalized. And you know what? Willie Nylander, that's a solid asset for the Coyotes. If we are trying to make the playoffs, not next year or the year after or the year after that, or even the year after that, yes, getting Willie Nylander right now with a not wanting to extend a contract is a phenomenal idea. And Clayton Keller is a little overrated. He had a really good season last year. Can he really repeat that on this team in a college arena? I don't know. So, Robyn, what are your thoughts on these discussions? And then I want to get back in a little bit to why these discussions make a lot of sense.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely. I mean, that's definitely something that intrigued me. I've been a fan of Nylander for a few years. Consistently putting out pretty good numbers. He's still, within that around prime years, get some excitement out of him. I think it's, pretty good value for Arizona.
Yeah, it's phenomenal value. I mean, this dude has multiple 30-goal seasons. He's coming up a 40-goal campaign. I'm just saying, if you want to make sure to get all the upgrades you need, you go for the older player that was playing with much better players that probably led to this. The only way this actually does, make some sense. We can bring our expertise here as people covering the Coyotes is if you think back to the situation where Keller's agents, they wanted answers for the arena situation. We still do not have an arena. That is a fact that cannot be argued or negotiated with. Well, if the answer wasn't going to be satisfactory, it was pretty much known that the agent was going to be looking for a different situation. And with Toronto seemingly in a perpetual all-in push, Toronto makes a lot of sense. If you are going to trade Keller to somewhere that he wants to be, play, win, and exit in the first round every couple of years, yes, it's a phenomenal option, and I think that it makes a lot of sense there. And it shows that potentially the Arizona Coyotes didn't give Keller a very good answer. And obviously, if he doesn't want to sign an extension, Nylander doesn't want to sign an extension, the deal was halted. But, I could see this being a pretty solid trade because the way I see it is it has to involve probably Matthew Knies. You got to get rid of the young blood. You want only proven players right now for an all-in team. You said Knies over, and we'll take Nylander, right? You'll take Nylander and Knies.
I think that'd be an instant yes for the Arizona Coyotes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did you say no to that?
But then again, I'm assuming people think the trade would have been 1-for-1, which I don't know. Nylander's a better goal scorer, but at the same time, the point differential last year was 1.
You want something that's going to push it over the edge.
Yeah. And I'm not 100% sure that a 1-for-1 does, but anyway, do you want to, I don't know if I can hold on for 3 more minutes. This is ridiculous. This is a really, really, really stupid thing. We'll elaborate after the ad read. I thought I could get 8 minutes out of that, and we could all have some fun, but I got 5 minutes, and I consider that an achievement.
Yeah, we'll get to more after after the break. So we'll get there after these messages. This episode is brought to you by AG1, the absolute best daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports your whole body health. It's something that I've gotten a chance to drink every day because quite frankly, it's really benefited my health in all aspects, not just one or two things. Because I was getting sick and tired of using countless different vitamins. Just like I would lose track. I'd lose track of what I had to take on which days and at what time of day. AG1 just made it easy. All I had to do was just have one scoop of this in a cup of water every day, and it covered everything. And I replaced it with my morning coffee because you know what? It also gave me the energy I needed too. It just had everything I needed for just what my my daily lifestyle was like. And I think it really would help a lot of you guys as well. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 Travel Packs with your first purchase. drinkag1.com/NHL Network. That's drinkag1.com/NHL Network. So check it out. All right, Matt. Let's definitely unravel things here because we definitely could not keep the bit running as long as we could. We definitely thought we could definitely keep it going for like a whole length segment, but it was getting hard.
Sorry,
it was getting hard. Like it was honestly the first couple minutes was getting hard for me to even just keep a straight face because I'm just like, this is a freaking joke.
It's just so stupid. It's just I love how much this dude got roasted. I'm not going to give the at. All right, if it was on my channel, I would because I am that. But we're doing Locked On. We're not gonna be about that life over here. But that tweet was from a hockey rumor Twitter, and the fact that these people don't think logically. So like Nylander is gonna need a new contract. He's 2 years older. He's 27. Yes, he has 3 30-goal seasons. One of those actually being a 40-goal season. But last year, the point differential was 1. Kells had 86, and Nylander had 87, and Keller is younger. Keller is the face of the franchise. Nylander is a guy that you add when you think you're ready to make the playoffs now, and you don't trade your franchise player to do it. It's stupid. Now, I didn't mean it genuinely. The only way it makes logical sense is if the answer Keller's agents would have gotten was not satisfactory. However, all of that died down borderline immediately. We've got public comments. Logan Cooley elected to sign his contract. I don't think
convinced
that
by
it makes sense.
Clayton Keller.
So I don't think it makes sense. Like if you would have actually got bad reporting after that and Cooley never signs and you don't really get many public updates, we get less than we already got. Yeah, I could see how that would make some logical sense. And I feel like if this tweet would have came out like 25 days ago, it would have sounded a little more believable. But like, can we just talk about the people that think that it has any weight to it? Now, again, this comment section, pretty funny, full of Coyotes fans making fun of him. But it's anonymous sources like this that like the feed of hockeys of the world just take with at face value and write bad articles on, and then we got to deal with it because people think that there's any nuggets of truth to it. Then we got to talk to you, the audience, and explain, no, it's not how that happens. And it's just, why do people?
It's a good thing that most of you Coyotes fans are not that stupid. So you saw that, and I think you, like the rest of us, just laughed. Just laughed. Didn't even really comment, just laughed.
It's got to be engagement bait. It's got to be just engagement farming because it's the off season. But like, I just don't get it. Like, I just don't understand.
I mean, yeah, especially again, not you mentioned that having to trade a franchise player for that, and not only that, like trading for a player like Nylander who'd be on a contract year and quote unwilling to resign, and you're trading away a top player currently for the team who's on a very team friendly deal for the next 7 years.
I think he has 5 years left, but keep talking while I fact check.
But yeah, he's got a number of years left on a contract. He's got plenty of years on a contract it's just like, come on, like what kind of GM would even consider making a deal like that unless, and like you mentioned, unless said agent and said player would be like, hey, like yeah, we definitely want to get out of here. Like, but that's from our understanding, that's not the case.
The most believable part of this report, unironically, I'm not even BSing, all right, is Nylander refusing to or being unwilling to sign an extension, because you're going from a team that's been perpetually in the playoffs and trying to push to improve the roster to a team that is still in a rebuild. That 110 at 27 years old, you're entering the tail end of your prime. He's probably got, about 5 more years, and he wants to probably compete at the highest possible level for those 5 years, because usually around your early to mid 30s when you start to taper off, it is what it is. So that actually sounds 100% believable. If you were to just say, hey, there was a trade discussion that the Coyotes were interested in Nylander, but Nylander wouldn't sign an extension, I would at least find that believable. All right, 100% I find that believable. But then you throw Clayton Keller's name in and I start laughing.
Yep. I mean, let's also add one more thing on that too. Is there's the aspect of also to be in the contract year. Let's assume that part wasn't true, and that also that wasn't true, and that let's say like Nylander would be like, okay, yeah, let's sign a contract extension. The Nylander money is still going to be unbelievable, like something that the Coyotes wouldn't be willing to pay, make him the highest paid player in the team. Like that's just like at that point in their rebuild, why would they do that?
Can you imagine the backlash? Clayton Keller has been here. It's him and Krause have been here the longest of any of the current Coyotes. Can you imagine the backlash if after Keller ties the all-time points record for a Coyote, the very next season he's gone and you make his team? I feel like just the concept of that could derail everything they've built in that locker room. And then 100%. That's not even thinking about the fan perspective. This would be one of the dumbest things. It comes from the school of thought of who is Lawson Krause, all right? But Lawson Krause would be phenomenal on the Maple Leafs or phenomenal in wherever else, right? But like a 4th round pick, should be enough to get it done. A 4th rounder in a bad contract, and I look at it, and it's just, it doesn't surprise me when it's like fan accounts, because fans are idiots. I am a fan. I'm an idiot. It is what it is. But whenever like YouTubers, actual like websites, whatever, start attempting stuff like that, I can't take it seriously. I can't take it seriously.
No, you can't. And like, I don't think especially if you do something like that outlandish, like I think let's say like you and I, Matt, as like, those that are in, cover the Coyotes or in media, we can come up with something that's believable, right? Still be alive.
Try now? Do you want to try to do a believable rumor right now?
Oh God, I think it would take you. I think to me it would take a little bit of time, but if you want to give it a shot,
All right, I got this on the fly. Let's test my skills. We can even put it on the official Locked On Twitter or X. All right, let me adjust this. I don't know how that's sounding right now. I apologize, but wake up. We got the believable rumor. So, the Arizona Coyotes. Coyotes have had multiple conversations with Karel Vejmelka and his agent following that interview that he had in the offseason, and they have been actively shopping him around for the past month because they do not want to be employing players that in any way, shape, or form are attacking the team and disparaging the team. However, they want to keep this as low profile as possible because it would devalue him, and you wouldn't get as much back for him if they were, to say anything publicly. That's why PHNX and Craig Morgan and all them never said anything about that report. It all makes sense because you have to make sure he maintains his value. They are expected to be closing in on a deal. Toronto's been in the mix. I do know that there's another team in the East is in the mix, but maybe you could have a team that wants to pretend they're still competitive in the mix there. I don't know. What do you think about that, Robyn?
I'd believe it. I think if we made it very concise and quick, kind of like putting that into a very short, short tweet, I'd believe it.
I would, because here's the thing. That's the thing that's only really been in Coyote circles. It went through the trashy hockey blogs, but not a single or at least let me rephrase, because there might have been one or two, but I didn't really see it. And when I was doing research on the topic, but none of, in general, the bigger sites would touch it. And if there was anything, it was a blurb. It was really left for Twitter and the hockey blogs were the only ones really covering.
No, 100%. I think if it really became a thing, people to give you perspective, anything that's everything in the hockey world almost always reaches Elliot Friedman's 32 Thoughts.
Yeah.
It didn't even reach that because the national media is just, and bigger media is deciding that's just not that important.
There's another aspect to it. Like me personally, and I have asked on Twitter, I have spoken to a couple of people, because I'm not a native speaker. I don't speak the language Karel Vejmelka speaks. So I can listen to the podcast and they could be talking about sunshine buttercups. They could be talking about whatever, and I wouldn't know. And no one that I have spoken to that actually speaks it, you could take a transcript and put it into Google. And as someone who, I'm not fluent, but who has studied and tried to learn Spanish and Italian and a couple other languages, things do not one for one translate on Google. So it's the fact that no other sites, none of the bigger publications touch this kind of made it mean a little less to me, though I do wish you would have got more context on it, because if that actually did happen, there needs to be a conversation there. However, the fact that it didn't make its way up anywhere and it's stuck in the hockey blogs, it feels like one of those, we'll take a nugget that could be true but might not be without actually verifying it and run with it for a story that the hockey blogs tend to stick to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That makes total sense.
Sorry, had to get some agua. Drink water, boys. I want hydration nation up in here. Anyway.
Continue. Hey, we live in Arizona. That's the most important thing.
Anyway, continue.
But no, that makes sense, especially again, since a lot of these rumor people get their stuff from tweet bots and rumor bots and everything like that. They're just that post stuff that are is the NHL rumor bot that literally posts the most random stuff. Right, you know what I'm talking about?
Like the one that it's a bot generator that just tweets out it's outlandish stuff.
Yeah, it's a generator. Where it's the Arizona Coyotes have won the 2026 Stanley Cup champion.
I love that account. Every time it pops up, I chuckle.
Or it's oh, the Boston Bruins are are exploring to trade. It's a player that's not on their team. Elias Lindholm, like something completely random.
I saw it throughout the season. There's this one blog that for whatever reason keeps popping up on my feed, and it was like, so they do with the Coyotes, and at this point, there's been so many stupid things I don't even remember. So I am just going to make something up and hope that it was close. Where it's like, oh, the Arizona Coyotes didn't pay a bill, or like it was about the locker rooms or something, and they just showed a tweet. It's like, oh, they tweeted out, and in the article they show the tweet, they just reiterate the tweet, have a little preamble of like, oh, there's so much controversy around the Coyotes, playing in a college arena. No, I remember it, the exact story, and I hate that I can't find it anymore. So remember when they gave out the reverse retro jerseys, the t-shirts? Someone calculated the Adidas jersey value because for some reason these smooth-brained idiots thought a shirt was an Adidas jersey, an official $200 Adidas jersey, whatever, for customization. That's what they thought. They calculated that times 4,600 and said the Coyotes spent that amount on that giveaway. And I remember looking at that. I remember laughing. I don't remember bookmarking it, unfortunately. I was going to make a video on it and never did. And when I went back to finally make that video, I couldn't find any evidence of that tweet or article. But that is like it's literally, here's a little preamble that's usually terrible. Like the grammar's terrible. I'm a bad writer. All right. That's why I do the talking. But it's really bad grammar. Lol, Coyote bad. Then they just almost verbatim. Here's what the tweet said. And then, do you think the Coyotes should relocate?
It is amazing that, and again, you hate that it's the case, but it's amazing that it also is that literally any little freaking thing any little Coyotes news, no matter how small, can be twisted in the smallest way to create some massive clickbait, rumor bot article that's going to say, oh, the Coyotes should just move.
But Robyn, no one cares about the Coyotes. No one needs to talk about the smallest market in the league, even though they keep doing it.
But they keep talking about it, which shows, Matthew, that the Coyotes live rent-free in everybody's mind.
That's actually canonically why they stopped paying Glendale. They are so used to living rent-free, they thought they actually could. They thought they had talk about flying too close to the sun. Anyway, to end this out, do you want to just give a couple of minutes to like talk about why they're not going to trade Keller? Like, should we waste our time, or should we try to explain, in case anyone that clicked on this, like thinking this is an actual thing, isn't already like clicked off because they're embarrassed? Should we just go over like why they're not, they wouldn't and won't trade Clayton Keller?
I mean, it just needs to be really brief, because let's put it this way. Keller is the future of this franchise. He is the future captain. That's all I need to say.
I wouldn't be upset. All right, so I'll try to do rapid fire.
Okay.
First 30-goal scorer in a while. Tied franchise record. Loves being here. In an influence on players coming here. Essentially recruiting in a certain context. Literally 25 with 5 more years left. Did I say that he loves being here and he wants to be here? Because he wants to be here. When you have players like that, you want to keep them here. Oh, and you don't trade a 25-year-old that will be in the like right there when you're competing in the playoffs for someone that's like an old man in a couple of years. you don't do that. Like, I'm not going to trade Logan Cooley for Alex Kerfoot or something. I don't know. I'm going off age, not skill. Kerfoot's like 28, right?
Maybe.
Closer age, you don't trade Jack McBain for Kerfoot, I guess. Anyway, that's it. It makes no logical sense unless his agents requested a trade, which There's literally not even been a rumbling. Even like me getting to talk to people behind the scenes, limited access I get. Even I can say 100% without breaking anyone's trust, there has not been a single inkling of anything about Keller or his camp being unhappy since that PHNX interview whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, the fact that from our understanding, Keller wants to be here, enough so to have convinced Logan Cooley to sign his ELC here.
It's going to be a fun season. I can't wait until Cooley earns time with Keller.
It is going to be so exciting to watch. This team is going to surprise a lot of people. It's going to be fun.
Can we just take a second? We're not talking playoffs. We're talking fun to watch. All right.
Yeah,
we are not
exactly.
We're talking fun.
No, for some reason, everyone confuses fun to watch and a lot more competitive than to win now in playoffs.
Yeah, like people outside of this fan base. Oh, Coyotes fans, they signed Logan Cooley. They think they're going to the playoffs. No, we don't. What we think is going to be a better team.
And that's also. That is future Calder winner Logan Cooley to you guys.
You shooting your shot? Are we gonna call Bedard Bustard now? Is he gonna score 5 goals this season? And I don't know. Just retire?
I won't go that far because I think just Bedard is just gonna have an absolute terrible supporting cast in Chicago. Chicago is still gonna be in the basement.
Yeah, so. He has the Hart Trophy winner Taylor Hall. He has Coyotes legend, a fellow first overall selection, Taylor Hall. This kid is going to score 60 this year. And look, I'm being sarcastic. I like Bedard. He's going to be good, obviously. All right, but like Logan Cooley is going to have a better supporting cast.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. The most anticipated U.S. prospect we've had in a while.
And the best prospect in the world, according to our front office.
Well, like technically they weren't wrong. Like in some aspect. The best prospect.
I'm just gonna say they're not wrong because it's Logan Cooley, and I'm pretty cool with that. I will go ahead and do the outro.
That's it for today's episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. If you like what you heard, don't forget to leave a review, like, comment, subscribe if you have yet to already. We're available everywhere you get your podcasts, including on YouTube and the SiriusXM radio app. Don't forget to interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/LockedOnCoyotes, on Twitter, now called X at @LO_Coyotes. I'm personally...
No more X's. 1 X. So that way the kids don't go somewhere they're not supposed to be. 1X.
Just 1X. I am personally at Robyn_Leano. It's Robyn with a Y_LEANO. Matthew Jacobson is at the AZ Sports Guy. Interact with us, ask a question you might have. We might answer right back or on a future episode of the Locked On Coyotes podcast. Thanks everyone for listening to today's episode. Hope you guys staying safe out there. Hope you guys staying healthy. And don't forget to howl on.